Hey everyone, it's Karen. I wanted to do a weekly wrap up and talk about what I read this week. In my BookTube newbie tag, I talked about how I read everywhere. One of the things that I should have elaborated on is I really like to go other places to read as well. And that's kind of difficult right now, as everyone knows. But one of the things that is awesome about where I live is I'm super close to the beach. So yesterday, my dog and I walked to the beach and I read for a little bit. One thing I did want to share, because it's kind of book related, is there's this movie. It's called The End of the Tour. And I watched it at Ebert Fest quite a few years ago. It is about a reporter who is following David Foster Wallace on his last tour. And that's an actual real thing that happened. There was a book written about it, and then this movie is based on the book. That's all I knew about it. So I'm in the theater watching this movie. The two characters are like in a car going on a book tour. The camera is in the car. Just looked familiar, like the background for some reason. Like they were driving on the expressway when this was going on and it looked familiar. And all of a sudden the camera zooms out and I realized that it was filmed in the town that I'm from because my dad was lead architect for the tallest building in Grand Rapids, and all of a sudden there it is in the background of this movie. So I just loved the movie even more. But what I didn't realize is that so much of the rest of the movie was also filmed in my town. When I was walking to the beach yesterday, I included a little clip of this restaurant that I walked by, and that restaurant is in the film as well. So enjoy footage of my little reading walk to the beach and my little time spent reading there. So the book I read this week, I read it for maybe mid-rash, which I'll link more information about below, but it's called The Book of Longings by Sue Monk Kidd. It tells about Jesus from the point of Anna, his wife. And Anna is 14 when the book starts. She is from a fairly wealthy family. Her dad is the scribe for Herod. And she really does not fit into the box that her society wants to put her in. She is a writer, and this is what she says about herself. All my life, longings lived inside me, rising up like nocturnes to wail and sing through the night. She was reading the Bible and she realizes that there's all these women mentioned in the Bible and she didn't feel their stories were well told. So she started to write them, and she refers to herself as the Chronicle of Lost Stories. So that's kind of her. Her life really changes when she meets an aunt that she did not know she had. Her aunt was living in Alexandria. This woman, her name is Yeltha, was the first educated woman that Anna had ever met. So she kind of has like a kindred spirit now in her life and someone that is going to serve as a mentor for her. One of the things that Yeltha brought with her, it was this bowl, this incantation bowl, and she instructs Anna to put the prayer that's deepest in her heart and write it on the inside of the incantation bowl and then pray every day using that. And Anna thinks for about a year, and this is the prayer that she writes. Lord our God, hear my prayer, the prayer of my heart. Bless the largeness inside me, no matter how I fear it. When I am dust, sing these words over my bones. She was a voice. So she's kind of a feminist in a society that isn't really set up for such a strong woman. And then obviously she meets Jesus. When she meets him, he is 20. The main thing that I want to say about this book is just that we get this human view of Jesus. It just allowed you to see Jesus as a human and not necessarily as God. One of the things the book made me wonder about was about his knowing about being God. I think that because I always read the stories of the Bible through a God tinted lens, I never thought about what did Jesus know about himself, and did he know he was God, and how did that information come to him? Because I always assumed he knew it from birth. But we don't know our life stories and what's going to happen to us the moment we're born. That is a lot of information to know from the moment you are born, and for your family to know too from the moment you're born that you are God. I mean, so I think that's one thing the book made me think of more, is just what did he know? And it made me wonder if perhaps it was more of a journey of self-discovery throughout his whole life, where he kind of saw in smaller pieces of information who he was and who he was going to be. The other thing that I really liked about this book was everyone knows what's going to happen in the end. If you've read the Bible, if you've heard about Christianity, if you are a Christian, you know kind of the plot line of this book and where it's headed. When we got to the part where Jesus was about to die, I just felt the fear and uncertainty that the characters, well, the characters in the book or the people in real life must have felt. Like, what a scary situation. And again, when I read the Bible, I know where we're headed, and I know what I'm going to read, and I've read the same things over and over again, and I didn't have the emotional experience as I did with this book, where I could really take things from their perspective. When he does die, it's interesting to hear about it from Anna's point of view as well. She said, "I didn't know how the rubble inside me could ever be put back together." The one other thing I want to say about this book is Judas is in here as well. And it also allowed me the opportunity to see him as a human. And when he died, I was sad. And I didn't get that when I read the Bible, but he was human to me. He was real, and I mourned his death in this book. I think I gave that 4 stars on Goodreads. I definitely liked it, and I definitely felt like I grew from reading it. But it wasn't like amazing. What I'm reading now is I just started The Angle of Repose, and then I did want to share something else that I've been obsessed with lately. I've always loved logic puzzles, but when this whole situation happened, I kind of decided that I was going to buy a book or 2 of them. So I did, but this book is the best book of logic puzzles I've ever had. It is called Montague Island Mysteries and Other Logic Puzzles. So here's the thing that's different about this and other logic puzzle books. Normally, you just open the book and there's logic puzzles and you solve them. End of story. This is different because you are a character, your name is Taylor, and you have gone to this island to spend the summer with this wealthy family. You every weekend go and hang out with them. And so you're a part of a group of, I think there's 7 other people, 6 or 7. And every weekend you actually get to participate in that weekend's mysteries. So there might be a murder mystery you have to solve, or you have to go on a walk around the island and different things happen. You have to figure out who did what and all this stuff. So it's just more interesting to me because, first of all, it's like my dream life. Someone needs to invite me to their mansion on an island in the summer to play board games and mystery sort of puzzle solving games, escape rooms, and things like that every weekend. Like, sign me up for that, first of all. And I just like it that all the mysteries are connected. So then the other thing too, the other layer to this is your character Taylor. She's not just there as a guest. She's there for a secret reason. And throughout all the logic puzzles in the book, you have to figure out why she's there. So this is something super fun that I've been doing. I will hopefully be reading more of Angle of Repose this week. And that is it. I hope you guys have a great week. I'm curious what you're reading, so please put it in the comments below, and I will see you later.